I'm gonna holler at you for a minute while I weed my lettuce patch here. My lettuce didn't grow very good. I was late getting some things in, and it was too hot by the time I sprinkled the little lettuce on the dirt. Lettuce seed, you can't just sprinkle lettuce, but anyway, I was late, and honestly, in some ways, it was good that I was late getting the garden in this year, because we had snow in April. I had to take some of my starter plants back inside and made the floor muddy, and wife wasn't too happy about all that, but whatever. Anyway, main thing I was wanting to chat about is how everything has been so compartmentalized. You know, people want to act like our government has our best interest at heart. And honestly, one of the reasons why that is the psychological manipulation that's been going on for decades. And part of that is, you know, that coming out of World War II, the whole American pride and things like that. It got people to go to a place where they felt like the United States was invincible. And then on top of that, when you're a prideful person, you have a really hard time admitting that you're wrong. And so we've kind of had that indoctrinated into us for generations. And, you know, it was in, I believe it was 1953 when they began the MK Ultra program. A lot of people don't even know what the MK Ultra program is. It's where they were studying mind manipulation and different things like that. And they've been studying it from before that, but that was a CIA program. I mean, that's once the CIA has been established. So they have figured out how to put people into essentially into a trance where they can program people to basically follow a path. It's very similar to, you know, you get a sheep, one or two out of your flock to go, and then the rest of them are going to go as well. And so they figured out how to use the televisions and the radios to kind of steer the herd. And that's what's brought us to where we are. And people, they just, it's like they really lack, it is. I mean, people just lack the information needed to understand where we are in time and space. And I've said this on many of my videos, but we don't have documented human history before 3500 BC. So what that really equates to, and we hear all these numbers about, you know, there's trillions of dollars in national debt and $1 billion spending packages and $3.5 trillion for the infrastructure program. And people don't understand that 1 trillion seconds is like 32,000 years ago. Okay, but we don't have any documented human history. I mean, we have some cave drawings and some evidence of certain things, but we really don't have anything that is concrete before 3500 BC, unless you consider the Bible to be historically and factually accurate. And when you look at the track record of the Bible from the New Testament on, and you look at the impact of Christian principles which establish the foundation of reality, then you have a track record there that makes it where you really need to give the Old Testament of the Bible the benefit of the doubt and trust that that is the basis of knowledge and understanding, and then you can build up from that. Because what we've got now is we have a whole bunch of people who have been manipulated away from the foundation of reality that God has provided to us through the standard that is contained within the Bible. And you have people that are because they are not in close proximity to the foundation of reality, they are inverting reality. That's how we end up with this transgender stuff and all of the different things that are going on in our society, where they're playing games. They've basically exploited every hot button issue through our avenues of entertainment, and they have manipulated society into squabbling about things that are unresolvable until people can come into closer proximity as it relates to their perception of reality. Because since we all ebb and flow and influence one another to different degrees, we don't know how far out the impact of our interactions is going to travel. It's like if you could imagine that we're all in basically energy bubbles that you can't see, and the things that we do, and they move into and influence others, and it'll move them one direction, and then they'll bump into somebody else, and so on and so forth. And until we come to a almost consensus of where the foundation of reality is and what that means, then we're going to have continued negative interactions with one another. Because you can have a person that believes that God is real, and they believe the Bible, and they believe in Jesus and all of that, and they do try to follow the standard that is provided to us. But when you have so many people that have been manipulated away from the foundation of reality, then those people that do revere God and do want to adhere to His standard, then it throws them off, and the interactions will take them away from a place of peace of mind, because just the energy of the collective, the energy of the majority is going to influence that person, possibly to start doubting God's timeline. Not that they necessarily doubt God, that they just doubt their place in time and space, and therefore then maybe they're going to be more on edge, more likely to offend the other side, more likely to make rash decisions, more likely to want to escape reality with substance abuse and things like that, in order to cope with the conditions that we have in our society. And we've got so many people that they just want to cope all the time and avoid the evidence. And it's I thought of a term last week: complacency bias. Anyway, man, I was struggling with that right there. Anyway, and basically what that is because of your role in creating the environment around you, and your role in going along with the things that are destructive or not beneficial, you want to kind of downplay your role, or maybe ignore the evidence of something being a negative, in order to psychologically protect yourself. And so we're all in this together. We've all dropped the ball at one point or another. Thankfully, God's grace, which is His unmerited, unearned, divine favor, it just radiates from the foundation of reality. The closer that you are to the foundation of reality, the better chance you have of coming into contact with the energy and essence of God's grace, because that's where it originates. But it's available to anybody in the realm of time, and it flows through the realm of time, and people run into it wherever they are. And some people don't even recognize that God's grace is what provided for them. Some people want to call it luck or good fortune or whatever, but I mean, it's just the being fortunate enough to run into the energy and essence of God's grace that you don't even know how many times it saved your life or how many times it's provided you with the sustenance that you need, whether that's physical, mental, spiritual, whatever that may be. But anyway, we've just got to a place where so many people live in la la land. And then when you live in la la land, it's really easy to manipulate you to just kind of go with the winds of the time. You're unstable in your thinking, and that's why the media can just push people a given direction at any point in time. And people even, they think that they're critical thinkers, but they've never really thought about who pays the media to inform them. And what a lot of people don't recognize is that the consolidation of industry has made it so that the very top of the ruling class and the economic structure has been able to compartmentalize pretty much every facet of our lives. And so you've got these people that have access to essentially unlimited funds, unlimited resources, assets, and capital, and they use that to manipulate governments and industries all across the world. I mean, if the Bilderberg Group exists, then there's got to be a reason for it to exist. And since it does exist, you have to ask yourself, can a sovereign United States and the Bilderberg Group coexist long term? And the answer is no. The Bilderberg Group is the most powerful people on the planet in terms of economic status, and they've set up a world government system behind the scenes, and they've been working at this for many, many years. And they pass their information from one generation to the next. They pass their assets down. They stack the laws in their favor. They appoint the people that they want appointed to the judiciary. They fund the people that they want in the legislatures. They make sure that the people that they want are at the top of the different organizations and industries and things like that all across the globe. And that's how you end up with programs like Operation Lockstep, where the media just follows their narrative. They report how they're to report and say what they're to say in order to manipulate the people. And the only way that we're going to come out of this is people have got to understand their place in space and time. They've got to get right with God, and they've got to repent of the things that they've been doing wrong, and they've got to ask God to lead them to discover their role in this great culture war. I mean, there's people out there that are in La La Land right now that God has prepared them in their life with experiences that will allow them to help humanity to move in a more positive direction than where we're headed now. And because where we're headed now is the destruction of humanity in ways that most people they can't even really imagine. There's a lot of people that even like myself, I'm pretty aware of what's going on, and I know what is ahead of us, and I can't even really get myself to fully comprehend the gravity of it all. But there's people out there that are living in La La Land, and they have knowledge and information and ability that we all need in order to escape this path that we're on. And what we've got to do is we really have to think critically. We have to build new systems, whether that's whatever that looks like. But we cannot go along doing things the way that they've always been, because it's a setup. And the way that they've carried it out is they just have their organizational hierarchy, and they just give directives, and they've written their papers. There's tons of information that's out there that people can go and look up. But if we don't get it right, we're in trouble. So anyway, hope you got something from that. God bless.